Quickly, Optimus Prime transformed into his truck disguise. Spike and his father climbed into the cab.
I never thought that I'd be a trucker,
said Spike.
Neither did I.
Replied his father.
Particularly in a truck that can talk to you while you ride in it.
All set?
Said Optimus Prime.
Here we go!
The huge articulated truck moved forward and gathered speed as it rumbled towards the distant solar research station. Meanwhile, Starscream led the Decepticons swiftly over the hills towards the valley where Megatron and Soundwave waited impatiently. A light flashed on Soundwave's chest pack.
Decepticons within low-frequency detector range,
he reported.
Right!
Said Megatron.
That gives us just enough time to prepare!
Over the rim of the hills came the airborne Decepticons. Below lay the solar complex, and in the center was the building where Megatron and Soundwave were to meet them. Starscream laughed as they swooped closer.
Stand by!
He ordered.
I want the entire force on the ground at the same time. Each Decepticon will take up his position according to my orders. Fire on my command!
In a final rush, the Decepticons dropped to the ground and quickly surrounded the building. There were no windows, only one metal door. They trained their weapons on the door and waited silently. Then Starscream stepped forward.
Come out, Megatron!
He shouted.
Your reign is over! If you act sensibly, I might even be merciful!
From the shadow of one of the giant solar saucers came a flash and the roar of a fusion cannon. The charge ripped a long furrow in the ground beside Starscream, who was hurled off his feet by the blast. His smoking weapon still pointed at his fallen rival. Megatron stepped forward, followed by Soundwave.
So, you are prepared to be merciful, Starscream?
He said.
You will never make a Decepticon leader! Decepticon leaders do not show mercy! They are ruthless! They are also cunning! Did you really think that I would sit alone to await your pleasure?
Starscream groveled in the dirt.
Spare me, Megatron!
He begged.
I will spare you this time.
Said Megatron.
But not because I am merciful. A Decepticon leader must be practical, and I need every pair of hands if we are ever to reactivate the space cruiser and return to Cybertron. Beware the day when you are of no further use to me.
Megatron turned to Soundwave.
Prepare the Energon cubes!
He ordered. Optimus Prime stopped on the crest of a hill. Below, in the valley, a road wound its way into the distance. Spike climbed down from the cab.
That should take us in the right direction,
he said. They joined the road, and a few minutes later they had reached the complex. Spike climbed down again and tried it.
Locked,
he said.
No problem,
said Optimus Prime. He lowered the tailboard at the rear of the truck.
Out you come, Roller,
he said.
I have a feeling there will be work for you.
Roller, the Autobot scout car, trundled out and onto the road. He ran under the bottom edge of the security fence, while Optimus Prime transformed. Upright, he towered above the fence. Reaching down, he picked up Spike and his father. Then, with one giant stride, he stepped over the fence and into the complex. In the distance loomed the huge mirrored saucers and the shining metal sphere. A bustle of activity in their shadow showed where the Decepticons were hard at work. The giant Autobot leader and his human friends made a wide circle around the edge of the complex to see what their enemies were up to. Roller scurried ahead, and then they stopped.
What can you see from up there?
Asked Spike.
The Decepticons are charging their Energon cubes from that huge sphere over there,
replied Optimus Prime.
We'd better call up the others,
said Spike.
There isn't time for that.
said Optimus Prime.
It looks as though they are almost finished. We must stop them somehow.
You have energy weapons?
Said Spike,
Yes,
replied Optimus Prime.
but I want to avoid a shootout. We are only guests here on your planet Earth. The last thing I want is to cause unnecessary damage to this very valuable equipment. We must strike swiftly and suddenly. Most important of all, the Energon cubes must be destroyed.
From the cover of a rocky outcrop, Spike and his father watched the activity of the Decepticons. The Decepticons worked fast. They had used magnetic clamps to fix their energy conductors to the metal surface of the energy converter. The conductors carried the solar energy to the empty Energon cubes. A chain of Decepticons stacked the charged cubes some distance away, close to the fence which ran round the complex. There were only a few empty cubes waiting to be filled. The 4 enormous mirrored saucers had moved automatically to follow the sun, but the single smaller saucer in the center still directed its stream of golden energy onto the converter. Spike turned as his father nudged him.
There's our weapon.
He whispered.
I think that the small saucer is on some sort of turntable so that it can be adjusted. If I can get to the building there, I think I'll be able to find the controls.
He started to crawl forward. Spike stopped him.
Let me go, Dad.
He said,
I'm smaller. I'm not so likely to be spotted by the Decepticons.
and before his father could stop him, Spike was darting from one patch of cover to the next, heading for the building in the center of the complex. In a few minutes, Spike stood by the wall of the building. Carefully, he crept round to the metal door. Luckily, the Decepticons were working on the other side. Spike gripped the handle, but nothing happened. The door was locked. He took out his clasp knife. Perhaps he could pick the lock. No, he needed expert help, and quickly. The Decepticons had finished their task and were now dismantling their gear. Spike looked up the slope to where his father and Optimus Prime were hidden. Holding his knife so that the sun shone on the blade, he began to signal. Optimus Prime saw the flashes first.
What is it?
He said. Spike's father said,
It's Spike. He's signaling in Morse. Something must be wrong.
He read off the signal.
D-O-O-R-C-K-E-D.
This will do the trick,
Said Optimus Prime.
It's a standard piece of Autobot repair equipment. A sonic multi-tool. Come here, Roller.
With a chatter of electronics, Roller trundled up. Optimus Prime took the sonic multi-tool and tucked it into Roller's cargo compartment and sent him speeding down to where Spike waited. Soundwave was supervising the last of the work over by the stack of Energon cubes. Suddenly, he paused. Something had caught his attention. There had been a slight movement near the building. He watched for a moment, but saw nothing else. It was probably one of those strange Earth creatures that seem to be everywhere on this outlandish planet. Unaware that Soundwave had caught a glimpse of him moving through the grass, Roller halted at Spike's feet. Spike found the sonar multi-tool and looked at it, puzzled. It didn't look much. He pressed a switch on the side. Nothing happened. He turned it towards the door. And with a faint click, he heard the lock open. Next minute, he was inside. One by one, the Decepticons reported to Soundwave. Their equipment and Energon cubes were all checked and correct. Wave turned to report to Megatron, but stopped suddenly. His sensors had picked up something this time. Next moment, he gave the alarm.
Intruder! Intruder! Detect human intruder!
Instantly, the Decepticons formed a defensive screen around the precious Energon cubes and waited. Nothing happened. No shots, no sudden attack. Then Starscream shouted,
The solar machinery! It's gone mad!
He aimed his null ray projector at the steadily swinging saucer, but he was too late. The golden solar energy no longer blazed onto the converter. The beam was aiming straight at the stack of energon cubes. For a moment, they pulsed with 1,000,000 megajoules of super energy. Then, in one blinding ball of fire, they disintegrated. The Decepticons were hurled in all directions and lay in scattered heaps as the last of their precious energy flickered and died in the scorched earth. The dazed and battered Decepticons rose unsteadily to their feet. One by one, they took off and headed back to their base. Megatron was the last to go. He took a final look at the smoking energon cubes and saw Optimus Prime striding down the hill, with Spike's father running hard to keep up behind him.
Prime!
Cried Megatron.
I might have known that this was your doing. You will regret the day that you dared to interfere in the affairs of the Decepticons!
With a snarl of rage, Megatron rose into the air to return to his base and hatch more plans for the defeat of the Autobots and his final triumph on Cybertron.